Got 'em. Thanks.
All right, just a bit of delay while I get my agenda up. Lots of screens that need to be open, aren't there? Anyway,
Yeah.
Still, it saves printing them. Okay, right, we're all here, right? So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for turning up. We've got a couple of parishioners. Thank you very much. Did our other parishioner leave, Nicola?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they seem to have left. They're not in the waiting room.
Perhaps they might join us later on, depending on what they're going to talk about. Okay, to receive, right, item number 1 is to receive any apologies of absence and declaration of interest. Obviously, no apologies for absence. Any declarations of interest? Oh, Heather?
Ian Bates asked me to pass his apologies on for tonight.
Okie dokes, thank you much. Okay, any declaration of interest? No? Okay, well, I'm going to chuck a couple in. Obviously, as maintenance person, there's a few things that are coming up tonight that affect the maintenance person. So if you could spare your feelings, or spare your true feelings rather. And the Christmas lights, I might have to just declare a semi-interest in that one. So that's those two interests. Right. Okay, so we now move on to the second section where I can close the meeting and open it to comments and observations from members of the public. Do either of our members of the public wish to? Andy wants to say anything? Andrew, do you want to say anything? No. Okay, Andy, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Graham. Just one against 2021-116 towards the end of the meeting to discuss outcomes of previous parish plans, proposed questionnaires for taking, blah, blah, blah. Nicola's been very kind. Well, what I'm glad to see that on the new website, there is a column in the parish council meetings for supporting documents. Brilliant. We got there, getting there in the end. And there's some good supporting documents being populated in there. There's one in particular regarding this item that I've asked Nicola for that she says she can't give me. And I just don't understand why, if you could explain. This was to do with the questionnaire. I just asked for a copy of the draft questionnaire that you'll be discussing, so I know what you're going to be discussing as the draft questionnaire. And she says she can't supply it because the council's resolution to provide supporting documents to parishioners isn't included. So can I understand what the process is for you to decide which documents you can supply supporting documents and which documents you can't, and in this particular instance, why a draft questionnaire can't be supplied?
Okay, at the moment it's policy.
Well,
so
you can't supply any supporting documents, or how do you decide which ones you do? Because you are supplying some and not others.
The point with this one, as I believe, is it's a draft, and therefore it could be changed. So I think that's probably the reason why we can't.
Well, that's a bit crazy, Graham, because if you think...
Okay, well, it's policy at the moment, so I'm not going to change it tonight, but if it doesn't work...
So if you think about this point that was being raised all the way for the last couple of years about supporting documents, is that people like me and Andrew would like to know what you're going to discuss beforehand, and quite often when you're discussing it, we still don't know what you're discussing because we don't see the document. So even if it's a draft, and therefore it will be good for us to get some view on what's going to be included in there so we could comment on it. So perhaps could I put a request in that maybe is amended so supporting documents in draft format can be included in the future?
Okay, noted, I'm sure.
Okay,
yeah.
That's all for me, thanks.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you much. Right, so moving on, I'll close the session, the open session, and go into closed parish council session. Item number 2192 is to approve the minutes of the parish council meeting held on Monday, 5th October, and the minutes of the finance meeting held on the 7th October. Now, have you all seen the minutes of the 5th of October? And are you all happy?
Yeah. No.
Oh, seen them?
I'm not happy.
Fire away.
The item on the trim trail, I thought we hadn't said we would abandon it, that we would come back with a different proposal for maybe a couple of items, something of that sort.
That was included in the discussion, but it wasn't included in the resolution.
It was a throwaway statement during the discussion. The minutes just
I don't
record
think
the
it was a
resolution.
throwaway.
Okay, it was a comment. We don't record the discussion. We record the resolutions. So that's why it's not in the minutes.
Okay, so we'll
Okay.
just have to get it back on the agenda. Okay.
Great. Okay, so let's, if you're all happy, getting yeah, okay. So I'm going to propose that I sign those as a true record. Can I have a second, please? Now, Kieran seconding. All in favour? Hands up, clear hands. Okay, that's 8. Yourself and Anne, are you with us or against us? You with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 9. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And then we go on to the Finance Committee. Obviously, just the 4 of us were there.
Yeah.
I think, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking around, see if I recognise the faces. Yeah. Are you 4? Are we 4 happy that the minutes we've been supplied are accurate from the meeting we had?
Indeed.
Mumbles? Okay, so I propose that I sign those. Can I have a second, please? Ian, seconding. Rest of you, are you in favour? Peter and Kieran?
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Nicola, are you happy with all that?
Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, we now have a little session from Nicola, so we have a little break here. Item 93 is to receive the clerk's report. So over to you, Nicola. Thank you.
Okay, so the website domain has now been transferred and the domain is now owned by Hilton Parish Council. I have received an update regarding the A14 legacy project, which is for the ponds within the village. Just to say that some of the things have been purchased. I don't believe our items have been purchased yet. And I am still awaiting an update on our specific project. I have submitted the response to the consultation for the planning for future to the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government. I have contacted County Councillor Ian Bates to request an organisation chart as discussed in the last meeting. Councillor Bates has advised that the County Council do not disclose internal structure charts for data protection reasons. He's directed me to the charts that are on the County Council website, which shows the work of each directorate and the leaders of each directorate. And I've included the link for those charts on my report, and they'll also be included in the minutes. I have placed the order for the replacement streetlight for PC4, and I'm just awaiting a works date for that. I have requested an update from the County Council regards the signs for the cyclists at the ford, and I received an update this morning to say that those signs will be erected next Monday, the 9th of November. As I have emailed you previously, I'm going to transfer the councillors' email addresses to the new website. So that's going to happen this week. Just as a reminder, you will lose the contents of your inboxes. So if you do have any issues, please let me know prior to that transfer. Just a reminder for councillors to send the clerk a short bio paragraph and a photograph for the website. I have received an alert from Compan regarding the fixings for the Bird's Nest swing. They're going to send out some new fixings free of charge. And the village sign has been removed to be repainted. That's me done.
Okay, I think the repainting of the village sign is actually a little bit more than repainting, but it's obviously not going to be discussed at this point. Okay, thank you.
It hasn't been stolen.
It hasn't been stolen yet, so I had seen it, but it's not just a case of repainting it, but that can be discussed later on. Okay, right. Item number 94. This is to receive the external audit report. Now, you would have got those in your supporting documents.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that there's nothing to report. It's all perfect. There's no issues. We've got a glowing bill of health, and we've received them, and sort of move on, I suppose, don't we? Anything else that we need to do, Nicola? Other than thank you for
just notes receipt.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that's great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Item number 2195 to receive and discuss financial reports. I don't really intend to discuss them because we discussed them last week, and we're going to move on to budgets. So unless anybody really wants to discuss the reports up to date, I'm going to suggest that we just propose to receive them, and then we can discuss them at a later monthly meeting or whatever. So can I have a second of that proposal that we just receive them and don't discuss them? Can I have a second of that motion, please? Kieran, you're seconding it. All in favour? Can I have a show of hands, please? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you much. Okay, so that's done with item 95. Right, 91, 96, discuss and decide upon the clerk's salary and review the hours worked and decide upon any actions. Now, this is forgotten what the terminology is, but it's a bit confidential. So I think we might have to remove parishioners, is that right?
If you
Nicola?
want to exclude the members of the public, you can do. You need to do it by resolution.
Okay.
So due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted, the public will be excluded, is your wording.
Okay, that's the wording that I just mentioned. Can I have a seconder for that, please?
Crazy.
Okay, and all those in favour? Because can I have a show of hands, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, 8. Okay, and Sharon, are you? Oh,
You're on mute, Sharon.
Still on mute.
Just abstain. Sorry.
you're going to abstain. Okay, so that's 8-1. Okay, so sorry, Andy, we're just going to remove you from the room for a short while we discuss Nicola's salary, and then we will invite you back, I'm sure.
Second.
Sorry.
Bear with me